NW Safety.
Welcome to Safety Café, Conversations on the Frontline, the podcast with real conversations with industry experts who live and breathe safety on the job. So whether you're on a construction site, in a warehouse, or out in the oil and gas field, this one's for you. So grab your hard hat and coffee. It's time to kick off another episode of Safety Café.
Welcome to Safety Café, Conversations on the Frontline. Last week, we stepped just outside downtown Houston to one of the city's hidden gems, the beautiful Botanic Beer and Wine Garden, a trendy botanic garden-style coffee shop where the coffee is incredible, the cocktails are even better, and the atmosphere is perfect for great conversations. In celebration of Women in Construction Week, we invited Lauren and Ellie Marie, two incredible leaders from the Association of Professional Women in Construction, to join us at the table. We kicked back with a cocktail and dove into an honest, inspiring conversation about leadership, experience, and what it means to be a woman shaping the construction industry. There were so many great stories and insights that we had to continue this conversation into part 2. So grab a cup of coffee or maybe a cocktail and join us for part 1 of this special edition of Safety Café.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, ladies, we couldn't think of a better way to do Women in Construction Week and record a podcast with the lovely ladies of APWC. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So as we kick off Women in Construction Week, because I know there's a lot of activities going on, right? Well, let's start with how you got started in construction. I'll start with Allie. How did you get started in construction?
So when I lived in Virginia, my best friend's mom actually worked for the same company that I am currently with right now. Yeah. She was a mother of 4. I saw her constantly working as hard as she possibly could. And also it was cool to see her projects come to life. So she was actually the one to get me started in construction.
Wow, that's awesome. How long ago was that?
Probably, I think 14 to 15 years ago. Wow. Yeah. And she's still with the same company that I'm with, just counterpart in Virginia. So it's pretty awesome that I get to see her too when we're having company get-togethers.
Awesome. And now you have 3 kids too.
Yes.
You're such an amazing woman.
Thank you.
All right, Lauren, how did you get started in construction?
So my whole career, I was actually in medical sales, and then I jumped over into the healthcare side of insurance for risk management about 3.5 years ago. I do healthcare, but then we also do property and casualty, which works with the risk in construction and industries like that. But I also have a ton of clients that we do their P&C and we do their healthcare, and they're in construction.
It's awesome. I know. So I guess we should back up on how we all know each other, right? So we were on the board of APWC, and we talked about this at our recent board retreat. It's like how we're so different, but yet we come together and we complement each other super well. And I was like, it's so serendipitous that we're here today, and we can just be like, each of us have like our unique strengths and abilities, and we just you build up each other in the leadership of each of our roles, right?
Yes.
So how would you define, what do you think makes a great leader?
Yeah. That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I look for as a really good leader is doing what you say.
Yeah.
Whether that's, the small things or the really large things, at the end of the day, your word will get you a lot farther, just like a handshake used to in the past. I think that's very rare now, in this day and age. So I definitely would say that.
Right. So high integrity, I guess what it comes down to, right? When you know that when somebody said something, their word is effective. It's an integrity thing.
Absolutely.
So many people shoot out and never followed through.
Yes.
Yeah. where you are.
I think the culture of a company really reflects the culture of the leadership and the kind of leaders that they hire. With my company, I feel like the culture is just so amazing. Integrity, but also living out what you talk about, and giving second chances. I think that a lot, especially like in sales and stuff, everything could be so cutthroat, but like understanding maybe, if there's an environment or there's circumstances or, just if they see you trying and they see you taking the tools that you've been giving and making the most of them to be productive, then that's what they care about because they see the potential.
And I want to piggyback on that too. Like, it's not just black and white, right? I mean, we were just talking about kids, for instance. I have 3, and then it's not always sunshine and rainbows. They go to school and they're there for an hour and they're like, hey, so-and-so's up at the nursery, and go pick them up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, crap. But the culture at my company is able and allows me to essentially say, hey, you got to go pick up your child and work from home. It's not, 8 to 5 always. Mm-hmm. And the work-life balance is huge for us as well.
And I think that at different seasons of your life, maybe what you say a good leader looks like changes. When you're younger, maybe a good leader is, someone who shows you the path to advancement and making the most dollar, but in the season of life, I think that we're all in, it is about the culture. Mm-hmm. It is about the flexibility. It is about the fact that we are women, we are wives, we're mothers before we're employees. Mm-hmm. Right. But yet we still have to meet the standard, and so working for a leadership and a culture that allows that and encourages that is incredibly refreshing in this season of life.
Yes, 100% agree. I mean, this morning I got a call from my child's elementary, and I thought something was wrong. That call when you see it,
you're like, oh no, so-and-so ISD, what did they do? Or are they sick? Or are they okay?
Like the nurse calling, you're like, oh, they're going to call me to go pick up my child.
Yes.
And there's a lot of amazing dads out there, but I really feel like it comes down to the moms, right? Mm-hmm. And I just saw this clip on like the 4 burner theory. Have you heard of this?
No.
So basically in life, there's 4 burners, right? You have work, family, health, and friends, right? And only 2 burners can burn bright at any single time that DCS. Mm-hmm. And I thought about this, and I was like, you know what? This is so true, right? Like in my season of life, I am really focused on work always because you're a high achiever, high performer, like all the ladies in APWC, right? Mm-hmm. Like work is one of your burners. Like that's where you're at. And so it's like, what's your second burner? And I know for me, it's family. Yeah. Right? But then there's other things that fall to the wayside, and the other ones can burn low, right? And I was like, oh, that's true. Like health and friends. So what do you think are your like 2 burners that are on right now? Like that's all the way.
And what were the 4 again?
So
family, friends,
health,
and work.
Yeah.
It's funny that this is even being brought up because one of my really good friends that I see on the regular, I do ACE mentorship with him, play pickleball with him. I was seeing him probably 2 to 3 times a week. And I feel like I've been neglecting not only him, but other friends too. And it's like, he will tell me too, which I love. Yeah. But I'm like, I can't give that right now. Like I truly cannot right now between work and family. Like it's just not happening. So I began the whole seasons of life. That could be even seasons throughout the year. I mean, right now, landscaping is the busiest time of year.
Springtime.
Yeah, we're getting, bids for all the time, actually, honestly. But it's definitely, I'm not fully focused on the health and friends aspect burner for sure, which sucks.
Same here. Like you wish you could have it all at the same time.
And then when you try to go to that one burner, you're like, oh shoot, I need to recalibrate and like go back. Yeah. When I do, put health first, or I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go play pickleball, or I'm gonna go for a walk at lunch, and then I'm like, what could I be doing at work right now? Yeah.
I think that is part of being a woman too, is like if you give more focus to yourself, like let's say health, because you feel drained.
Sure.
And you're trying to fill that cup more.
Yeah.
There's always a feeling of guilt of where you're falling
Always.
behind in family, or work, or, like there's just this trailing grief that comes with it. But that's just life,
Yeah.
Now the question is, do men experience that same sense of regret? Because I know I do. I feel guilt and regret if I'm at any point neglecting my children, right? Or if I'm neglecting the company. So the question is, do men feel that same sense? I mean, what do you think?
I think science has shown us that women are just better at multitasking. So I think that multitasking ability, it's a gift and a curse, because part of that multitasking is feeling the guilt when you're not plugged in all the places. I think men, the way they're wired, are just more capable of focusing on one thing at a time.
Right.
Do I think they feel the guilt? Yes, I think they do feel the guilt, but I think that they don't feel it maybe necessarily as heavily unless it's standing right in front of them and it's present in the moment.
Yeah.
Like if they walk in and their kid's like, oh, you missed, my baseball game or something. Do I think they feel guilt? Absolutely. But I think when they're at the office and they're focused on that one thing, they are capable of pushing it all aside and kind of staying in that lane.
Right.
Where I think women just are wired so differently.
Like we're thinking about the 4 burners at all times.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Am I going to go work out after this?
Yeah.
Like, for the one time this week, right?
Probably not. Probably not.
Reality. we're going to go let's see the kids. What are they doing? Dinner time and things like that. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it does matter that they remember it all, and they'll later on in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look back to times with my kids and you remember it all,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think, I saw this one thing. It's like, how do you want your kids to remember you? Once they're grown and all stuff. It's like that my mom was unstoppable, right?
That's saying, and it's like, it's hard to have that in their brain and also not be so focused on work, right? And they're like, I did all these things. I did, I was so accomplished and everything I did with my job. I'm very much like, if I'm going in 110%, no matter what. Like, I'm not going to do anything half-assed.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I want to show my kids, like, hey, I can do it all. Also, there might be some times where maybe I do miss, practice or, I don't want to, but it's a balancing act. I think that's a conversation too that you just need to have with your family and have them understand that.
I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, hey, mom needs to make money. You like to buy stuff?
Yeah.
Mom needs to make some money.
know.
So let me respond to this email really fast. Like
My 6-year-old's always like, you're the best cooker, you're the best cleaner. And she says all this stuff to me. I'm like, and then she's like, Daddy makes the money. And I'm like, I work too.
You're like,
I work really hard too. You just don't see it as much because, I'm the one coming home. But I mean, we both work really hard and you do it. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Right.
They just see that it's there.
Yeah.
It's like this untangible thing that they can't touch, that it's just there, and it makes them feel safe and that insecure, and that's all they need. That's all you need from them, for them.
Sure.
So thinking about we'll talk about what do you think if you were to give advice to your 20-year-old self, getting into construction or being a professional, what would you think? And I'll start by myself. I remember before having children, I mean, I had kids in my 30s, right? So before having kids, I thought I would be the consummate professional, just have my kids in daycare all the time and work 12 hours a day because I'm such a workaholic. But then you have children and a reality sets in and then your priorities shift. It's like the seasons of life. And suddenly I'm like, no, I want to be able to drop them off and pick them up from school because that matters to me, right? And everybody has their different things that matter to them. Not one person's oh, this is important to me is important to the next person, right? You find the things that are priority, right? So if you think about giving advice to your 20-year-old self, what what would you advise, like getting into the construction industry or things to watch out for, anything like that?
I would say for me, and I think I did this pretty well, but I even tell like my kids that I mentor through ACE, say yes to as many possibilities that you are getting. So any opportunities, say yes. If you can make it work, do it. You don't know if you're going to like something until you try it. A lot of these kids have a mindset of what they want to do when they're coming out of college. And then I'm pretty sure a lot of us might have college degrees in something completely different than what we're doing right now. And that's not even with work related too. And if somebody asks you for a coffee and wants to chat, do it. Right. You don't know what that conversation is going to lead, what's going to spark in your brain and be like, hey, maybe I might want to do that later on, or maybe I want to change my trajectory. I mean, even now I do that of somebody asking a coffee, like, let's do it. I know nothing about you, you know nothing about me besides what you maybe see on LinkedIn. Yeah. And I might not need you right now, or you might not need me, but our networks are together. At the end of the day, it's who you know. And it's not always, that certificate that you have after you go to college.
Right. I agree. I mean, I didn't go to college, so. But for anybody, like any sort of certification or something, like, yeah, like, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say just be open to change. Kind of a little bit of what you said, I'm a planner by nature, and I think
you're such a planner.
I am such a planner. I'm like,
when's your birthday?
Yeah, we can do that in 3 weeks on a Wednesday at 2:00. We all know this. Our lives are so full. And for me to be able to keep it where it needs to be, I have to plan, and that's a strength of mine. But then I think in life, being a planner can also be challenging because change is really, really hard. Mm-hmm. And I think that is going to happen no matter what in your career, in your life, in your circumstances. What felt safe before might not feel safe anymore. What felt secure before might not feel secure anymore. And if you aren't able to evolve well, then you'll drown, and I think that just being open to change and knowing it's not if it will happen, it's when.
Right.
And I'm going to have to learn that I am strong and I can adapt, and I will. Yeah. I will. And it doesn't have to look exactly how I thought should look, or exactly how I think it should look.
Right.
To be okay, and to just be open to that open door, that whole saying of like, when a door closes, a window opens kind of thing. And when the window opens, then go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get stuck.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions that we posed on the APWC Houston LinkedIn what was the one thing that he learned in construction? And that was what I said was adaptability, of being able to shift at any given moment. Construction's not, again, like I've said before, not black and white. It's every day is so different, and you're working with a lot of different personalities. You're blending with a lot of different people that have been in the industry for maybe 1 year or 30 years, and it's just you need to be able to shift and really try to work with the people that you're going to be talking to every day.
And I think all these organizations within Women in Construction are so valuable to networking, to meeting other women, to empowering other women. But what I really, really love about APWC, and that what the feedback we get every time we have an event, is that they feel seen for the networking, for the, I work for so-and-so, you work somebody, oh, we should talk or whatever. But they also feel seen for the other buckets. That they're a mom, that they have a life, that they're trying to make friends. Yeah. They're trying to stay lit in those areas of their lives too, and get their cup filled. And I think that APWC is a safe place to do that because it's so genuine. And that's what I love the most about our organization.
Well, it's like this sisterhood, and it's funny, talking at the very beginning, like how we just all kind of fell into APWC, and it's just like serendipitous, right?
Yeah.
But it really came out of nowhere. And a friend of all of ours, it's a colleague in the industry, she was like, hey, I really think you should check this out, and I really think you should get involved. And she was very high esteemed to me, and I really like her. And I was like, okay, if she tells me I should do this, I'm in. Okay. And I usually don't get involved with much stuff. I feel like it's so busy, right? As everybody
Sure.
here.
Right.
Although both of y'all, I mean, you're at everything. But for me, I was just like, okay, I'm going to take this and take this cue. And now I have like a sisterhood with the board members and the members of APWC. And I can see you guys. And it's like, it's something deeper than just, I saw somebody. I saw Lauren. I saw Hallie at an event.
Yes.
Like, I see you guys, and I'm like, it's like my sisters. They're there, and they have my back, and it's like it's a trust thing,
Right.
and and so I think like advice to a younger person is like focus on your relationships, set those coffee connections, and like adaptability. And if anybody knew your life story, not everybody knows your life story that's watching. That's a podcast in itself. Your life story, and how deep that resonates, and that comes from a lot of experience. And so, yes, adaptability. The quicker that you can go through a situation and be like, okay, that sucked. What can I do to make it better? Right? Like, what's the solution? Right?
Yes.
And there's times that I want to like furf on negative things, but I have learned to close that gap on a negative situation and be like, okay, that is what it was. Mm-hmm. Now what's the solution? And once my team will hear me all the time, okay, so what's the solution? And I say that to myself on a personal level and a professional level. Yes. And I think that, young people, the quicker you can do that in your life, adapt. What's the solution? Focus on the solution.
Right.
And then just take those connections and relationships and build up that. Right. Like, that is where success comes from. Mm-hmm. And it builds over time. Mm-hmm. And also, it's like, not to have like that instant mentality, right? And I can see like what has happened, over the last 10 years. And wow, I was just talking about this with somebody, the journey over 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, when I was 29 and turning 30, I know what was happening in my life. And now it's flash forward, a decade later. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, it is night and day of where I was and who I am now.
Yeah.
So,
and then what you thought you were like, what your life, what the idea that you had that you were going to be.
Yes. I had zero idea that this was going to be happening, sitting here and recording, and my ideas is so different, and forget, it's so amazing, right? Like now I'm like, well, I didn't anticipate this, but just walk through the open door,
right,
or the open window,
right,
whatever it is,
right, absolutely.
All right, ladies, this is fun.
This was great. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Lauren, Nellie. Cut.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Safety Cafe Conversations on the Frontline. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time. NW Safety.